Is there something wrong with you? Why is it that your dreams seem so much bigger than everybody else around you? Hey, I'm Haya. Welcome to Digging Deeper Real Talk. For those of you who may be new to our tribe, I work with high-achieving women and help them step into their purpose and their power without sacrificing their family, their sanity, or their soul. Today, we're going to talk about how those negative, Nellies, small-minded, toxic friends of yours are actually bringing you down and blocking your dreams and blocking your progress. Now, y'all, I hate to tell you this, but we've all got those friends. For you as a high-achieving woman, it is highly likely that you are the most positive person that you know. You are the biggest thinker that you know. You are the most excited, visionary, motivated, driven person that you know. And for the other normal people around you, you can look and seem a little bit weird. Especially as we start to get older, we start to step more into our own identity. We start to separate ourselves from the pack, like the programming of how we grew up, the friends we had in high school, college, our young professional friends. And we start to realize that they're still kind of doing the same thing that they've always done, that we always did. But now you have a different fire inside. You're driven differently. You have connected to something that set your soul on fire and lit you up. And you now understand that you no longer have to live like that. You no longer have to be like everybody else. But here's what I want you to know. If you want to stop living like everybody else, you got to stop acting like everybody else. What does that mean? It means we've got to figure out how to separate ourselves from the pack. Have you ever heard the saying, eagles fly alone, but chickens cluck in packs? Y'all, it's true. So what do you want to be? You want to cluck like a chicken with all your friends, or you want to soar like an eagle? Now, it doesn't mean that you have to always be alone to soar like an eagle, but it does mean that you've got to be willing to separate yourself from those negative, Nelly, small-minded, toxic friends that have been holding you back. So how do you know if this is the case for you? When you find yourself having to justify or explain or make excuses for why you have the dreams you have or why you're working so hard, and the people around you are like, can't you just take a break? Can't you just come to the movie with us? Can't you just come have fun for a bit? Why don't you just take it easy? Can't you just slow down a little bit? Y'all, these people will never understand you. They will never understand the fire in your belly and why you are so hungry to make a difference in the world around you. And it is impossible to fit an 11 by 17 dream into a 3 by 5 mind. Now, please hear my heart. I am not attacking or judging your friends. It's not right, wrong, good, bad. It's just different. And you cannot give your light bulb moment to somebody else. You cannot give them that aha moment. In Texas, we have this saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can explain to these well-meaning friends all day why you're motivated, why you're inspired, why you're so excited, what the world has to offer. And they're like, And you know what? That's just the norm in society today. But the reality is, so long as you are tethered to that mindset and tethered to that expectation, it is going to be constantly weighing you down, literally like an anchor on your ship that you want to fly, right? You want to sail, you want to soar. Why is that the case? Why are you so heavily influenced by those same few toxic, small-minded, well-meaning friends? Here's why. You become like the 5 people that you hang around the most. Now, if you haven't heard that before, I want to say it again. You become like the 5 people that you hang around the most. And y'all, the first time I heard this as a brand new budding entrepreneur, I got whiplash, like looking around and seeing who were my 5 people. And once I took a very serious roll call, it was not impressive. And I realized that I had to change my circle of influence if I wanted to change my results and if I wanted to change my reality. So I want to share with you, and I want to invite you to really, really, really take a good hard look, do a roll call, and look at who are those 5 people that are most heavily influencing your life. And if your reality is not the way you want it to look, then we're gonna have to make some tough choices here. Okay, so what do? Well, first thing we gotta do is we gotta figure out which ones we wanna move off our top 5 roster, and then who do we wanna move on to our top 5 roster of influence. And I wanna tell you right now, when I learned that you become like the 5 people you hang around the most, and actually you become like the books you read, the people you associate with, and the arenas in which you invest your time, I started to become very, very strategic on rewriting what was influencing me, what I was allowing to come into my body, my brain, my heart, my soul, and my being. And I can tell you right now that the vast majority of the people that have affected my life the most over the last 17 years of my history as an entrepreneur thus far, the vast majority of those people never knew my name. But I submersed myself so much into their teachings through their books or their videos or their audios or their online programs or their conferences or their seminars that I felt like they were constantly in my head and in my ear, and I would memorize their philosophies and their way of thinking and their advice and their routines and their approach to life so that I could literally hear their voice in my ear louder and more frequently than my own negative self-talk and then the people around me that were actually working to bring me down. Now, please understand, when I say working to bring me down, for the most part, these people around you are not malicious. That's why I said, even though they're toxic and small-minded, they're well-meaning, okay? For the vast majority of them, it's not malicious. It's not even a conscious thing that they're doing. They're just being themselves. And a lot of times what happens is, subliminally, as they start to see you climb over that fence of fear and climb out of your comfort zone, out into your world of dreams, it forces them to do a quick check around them and say, hey, where's she going? Why is she leaving me here? And then all of a sudden you will start to feel them like pulling on your ankles to pull you back down into the comfort zone, like with a death grip on your ankles trying to yank you back in. Why? Because if you leave, then they have to justify why you left and why they're still here. And I promise you, they're going to start throwing darts at you and saying, what's wrong with you? Is this not good enough? This is what we've always done. Where do you think you're going? Quit it with the pipe dreams and, the airy-fairy stuff that's never going to happen. Come back to reality. And they're going to justify, again, subliminally, subconsciously, with every trick in the book to keep you where they are. Because if you stay stagnant together, then they don't have to address the discomfort. Again, it is not a conscious thing. They don't want to feel unsafe when you leave the comfort zone. But what you have to ask yourself is staying safe and staying comfortable and making them feel safe and comfortable. Is that worth the price of your dreams? Is that worth giving up your dreams and never seeing your dreams become a reality? Now, please understand, we're talking about friends, okay? Your friends and the circle around you. If it is your direct family members, like your closest inner circle family members, that's a whole different discussion of how to go about that. But what I'm talking about right here are your friends, like your social friends, your girlfriends, your friends from high school, college, the community. And is that friendship really a friendship if they're going to start to judge you and criticize you and sabotage your efforts at success? Because if it was a real friend, they would be supporting for you and cheering for you regardless of what it means for them. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I'm going to share with you what I did. I started putting very healthy boundaries in place, and I started coming up with a script for myself to use, and it sounded something like this. Hey, Susie, I have got this really, really big goal that I've set for myself for the next 6 months. And for these 6 months, I'm going to be going gangbusters after this goal. And it means that you're not going to see me very much. So don't take it the wrong way. Don't take it personally. I love you. I really, really love you. And I'm going to be in touch. And I can, even put together a couple of times in there that we're going to get together once a month or once every couple of other months, whatever you feel good about. Okay. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not disappearing, but I am hyper focused on this goal. And I'm going to come back to you, and please, I want you to ask me in 6 months. Put it in your calendar and ask me how I did. Ask me if I made it. I want you to hold me accountable. So it manages the expectation. It sets the framework that you're not going to be around and available as much as you used to. Watch the dynamic of how they treat that separation. If they're supportive, amazing. If they're not supportive, y'all, flashing big red warning signs. It's not a true friend. And then last but not least, at the end of that season, like for example, with the 6 months that I gave you, check in again at the end of that 6 months and see what happened to the friendship. Is it still there? Is it positive? Is it negative? Did it get stronger? Did it get weaker? And remember, when you raise the bar high, the winners will stay and the whiners will go. If the bar is set low, the winners go and the whiners stay. So if you're going to raise that bar, then what's going to happen is all the whiners in your life are going to disappear because they don't want to have that bar of excellent expectation, tethered to them, right? So if you raise the bar in your life of how you expect to be treated and you find that everyone goes away, maybe it's time to let them go. And I can tell you something, when I have done that in my own life, it always, always, always makes room for new friendships and new connections at that higher level of excellence, at that higher standard of living, with a quality of life that more resonates with the values that are important to you. And the other thing that has happened so interestingly is, let's say now it's been 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later. And every now and then I come across situations, maybe it's at a high school reunion or a dinner party or a happy hour or something, and I run into some of these circles of friends. The crazy thing is, all that length of time later, they are still there talking about the same stories, the same people, and the same situations that they were talking about all that time ago. And for me, that is such validation that I made the right choice. Because visionaries, big-minded people talk about ideas and direction of where we want to go. Small-minded people talk about other people. So it's your choice, it's your chance, but it's your dream, and you've got to decide, is it a true friend that acts in that way, or is it time to maybe reposition some of those friendships, get rid of some of those toxic relationships so that you can reposition yourself to step into your purpose and your power? It's not so easy, but I promise you it will be worth it. So leave me some feedback. Let me know how it's going in your life, and I will see you next time on Digging Deeper Real Talk. Bye for now.